All right. So, you guys want to start with chapter 1?
Well, I think it would be interesting to talk about first if who in this room considers this a comic book and who considers this a graphic novel. I mean, in our class, we talked about that a lot, how the graphic novel has sort of a personal connotation, like a personal narrative to it, but as opposed to a comic book. So I'm just wondering what everyone's view on that is, or if they're the same, like everything.
On the other hand, they really like Hollywood movies at the same time and kind of have affection to it, and this seems to be kind of the same relationship that these guys have with the superheroes. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
it's like a step away from the superheroes by sort of going meta on them, but there's still this kind of real affection for the superhero genre as well.
Yeah, I think that's a really good observation. Also, it's hard to say if there's affection or not because there was really no other context to work in American comics at this point.
Really?
Like, this was the only thing. It's completely groundbreaking for someone to make something as developed as Watchmen. But it was very hard for them to work outside of superheroes at the time, I think.
Right. Yeah, because I guess comic books as a medium kind of hit a peak, like, what, in the 60s with, like, Stan Lee? And, like, I don't really know much about the history of comics. But,
I don't know.
well, that's when...
Actually, it's more like the 30s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
golden age.
They were really early. Like, you could...
They
Well,
started,
Yeah.
But Stan Lee was really big in the 60s.
Superman.
Well,
Yeah.
comic books moving here. If you're looking
Yeah.
at like comic books like Nancy and like daily strips, that was way before. If you want to talk about superheroes, that's later.
Okay.
In the
You
60s,
can talk
the
about
60s.
hieroglyphs as comics. Like,
Yeah.
Well, in the 60s, that's when like alternative comics first came about with Robert Crumb and all these crazy hippies just doing like
underground.
just doing like vulgar stuff again.
If there's been a peak, we're in the peak now.
I would
There's
say
more stuff and more variety now.
That's a good observation.
Superhero comics are sort of dying out, but I mean everything else has exploded.
Like if you look at what areas in bookstores the sections are getting bigger, it's of course religious texts and comic books.
Yeah.
Those are the two.
Graphic novels.
Graphic novels. Those are the two sections that are escalating in sales. So that's what's coming around.
What's interesting though is if you look at the comic section, over half of it is manga.
Overhead.
Yeah.
So, you know, I love hearing about the Americanization of other cultures, but no one talks about like the popularity of drift driving here and manga and all the Japanese culture that we adopt.
What was the first one you mentioned?
Drift driving, it's like this new craze with kids for racing. It came from Japanese
Oh, I see.
motorsports
It's
culture.
not comic. It's not comic.
No, but style and fashion goes both ways, but we only see us perverting them. We don't see how it's a mutually beneficial trade of culture, which I appreciate. Other people see it as poisoning, but
And the fact even that we've got comic classes now kind of signifies that it's being taken more seriously.
Especially in the art department.
Yeah.
I was here the other day and they have a graphic adaptation of Howard Zinn, People's History of the United States.
What?
Yeah.
And they're starting to
In
go
here.
back now and do more graphic representations. Like they've got the Metamorphosis too.
There's a...
Something else entirely at the same time, but he's like a literal translation of that.
Or if it is kind of like the immediate gratification kind of thing, give her anything she wants. I mean, it's just like you just get overwhelmed by having too much of the ability to do whatever you want or get whatever you want. Just kind of take it.
Who's the other superhero who... the dollar bill? So the guy who, he works for the bank, but his story was really interesting to me because, you know, the bank designed his costume, and it was because of the design of his costume that he meets his demise.
oh yeah, was it the cape?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. He gets you don't need tape. You know, that's right.
Yeah.
That was the
Wasn't that
joke
on
to the
Invincibles
DC
as well?
Marvel
That
thing
kind
or
of-
whatever.
The Pixar made fun
Yeah,
of it, didn't they?
Incredibles. Yeah,
Just
they
it's
do
no
that.
cape. The director, no cape.
That's what I thought of when I read that too.
And there's a montage of like 5 different characters that died.
Well, because what is it? The journal entry at the end of chapter 2 when he's talking like at length about costume design, about like all these different details you need to think about when you're designing a superhero costume. And then in Dollar Bill's case, the bank just wanted like the most flamboyant piece of advertising that they could possibly get on his body. So
And then he got shot.
yeah, I mean, because the design. I just thought that was. Did you guys have any
That's a great.
thoughts on that?
I really
Or,
like the figure.
I don't know, but
I love just thinking about the superhero's costume because it's like an entity that often like it goes underappreciated what it goes into to like think of like the practicalities of what goes into a superhero's costume. And so I just love that aspect of it, that it gets brought in.
It seems like they're compensating because the guy who does have superpowers goes around naked, and the guys who are normal have to dress up as if they have some kind of superpower, and they don't. You know, if you really had power, then these, these trappings wouldn't mean anything. And
but it's I think I forget all these people's
Silk Spectre.
yeah, the Silk Spectre, like she ends up like making a lot of money through like a modeling agency, right? I mean, they all have like these kind of financial, because these are I guess that's the other thing that I think makes it kind of like a graphic novel as opposed to a comic, is that these are people who need to make money off of this, who will die if they get shot.
Yeah.
As you know,
Well, it's like different, if you think about like different superheroes and their different like bank accounts, I don't know, like Bruce Wayne, he's just kind of like a trust fund baby.
right.
And but like Peter Parker, he's a journalist. And like, or no, he's the photographer, and Clark Kent's the journalist. So it's like, a lot of these people have like real life jobs to
Yeah, but
money.
Superman's a weird example because Superman isn't his mask. Clark Kent is his mask.
Yeah, that's true. But
But that's different.
That hasn't always been the canon.
I guess it just it doesn't
But
seem
it's like they don't have like the necessarily dual identities as all the
Right.
other ones do,
Yeah.
except for Rorschach, because he's kind of he's the one in the real mask, like.
Yeah, but the thing that I like most
I like
about
that.
Rorschach is like first like 10 pages it shows him with his mask on,
Yeah.
eating beans.
yeah, you see, that's the thing about Rorschach. He doesn't like being without his mask. Everyone else
Yeah.
feels uncomfortable in their costume.
Skin.
Yeah, it's skin, right?
Yeah, but like here it just shows him exposing his mouth to eat his beans, cold beans.
Well, it's like it's kind of like funny because like I think about superheroes and their like disguises that aren't like really disguises, like the glasses or the little tiny mask that only covers up that much of their face, so you could like easily distinguish what their face looks like underneath.
Yeah. It's somewhat, yeah, it's like, I guess what I really like about this so far is that these are people who actually suffer consequences, from their actions, as opposed to like this golden age we were talking about earlier, where everything's kind of conveniently written off. And I think it's what I see as like the main difference between a graphic novel and a comic